This is lesson 3-6 on the metric system from the Algebra Readiness textbook. For today's lesson, you will need your Chapter 3 notes packet and a sharpened pencil. Gather your supplies and answer these 2 study guide questions and work these skills you'll need to know, problems that are in your chapter notes packet. Then come on back to compare your answers to mine. For the first one, this is a review of what we did yesterday. You will see that the bird chirped 103 chirps per minute. That is the n value. So you substitute n, or 103, in for n and solve. When you solve using the order of operations, you should have gotten 25 and 75 hundredths degrees Fahrenheit. The next one, the Johnsons framed a family picture to hang on the wall. The perimeter of the frame is 66. That's your p value. Use the formula P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W to find the length of the frame that has a width of 12 inches. So hopefully you saw that 12 is your W value. Write the formula and show the substitutions. Be sure to label your answers. First of all, 66 goes in for the P spot in the formula, and then equals 2 times L. We don't know what the length is. It says find the length, and then plus 2 times W. Now I need to solve, but before I can solve, I really need to simplify this 2 times 12 and rename that as 24, which is what I did here. Now I've got 2 times L plus 24. In order to solve this one, I actually have to inverse operations 2 times. The first thing I need to do is subtract 24 from both sides. When I'm done with that, I get 42 equals 2L. Now I need to use the inverse of multiplying L by 2, which is dividing both sides by 2, and I get 21 inches. No, I'm trying to get this to come up, and for some reason I'm unable to do that. Well, hopefully when you did the first 2, which I can't see what those are. Oh, there we go. Hopefully when you were doing these first 2, you saw that 5 times 100 is 500, or the number of zeros in the multiple of 10, when you're multiplying, moves the decimal 2 places to the right. So when you multiply by a multiple of 10, the decimal moves to the right. In this one, number 3, I notice I'm multiplying by 10, which has 1 0, so my decimal moved 1 place to the right. And so my answer is 2 and 94 hundredths. Do you remember learning that pattern in 6th grade? The same thing is true, or the same pattern is found when you're dividing by a multiple of 10. When you're dividing by a multiple of 10, it moves the decimal to the left, the same number of zeros that there are in the multiple of 10. In this case, there are 3 zeros. So this decimal point will move 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. And this is your answer. The next problem, 9/10 divided by 100. I'm dividing, so the decimal goes to the left, and there are 2 zeros, so 2 places. 9 thousandths is my answer. So today, though, we're going to use both of those skills in order to convert metric units, and we're going to also talk about identifying what an appropriate unit of metric measurement would be given a different scenario. First thing we need to do is review. There are always units to measure length, capacity, meaning how much liquid it holds, and mass, how much it weighs. So in length, we have millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Millimeters, a millimeter is about the thickness of a dime. A centimeter is about the width of your thumbnail. So everybody look down at your thumb. That is 1 centimeter, the width of your thumbnail. A meter is about the distance from the doorknob to the floor. So everybody look at the nearest doorknob in your room right now and see the doorknob. It's, for some of us, it's waist high, not for those of you who are taller. But that's about a distance of a meter, or think a meter stick. A kilometer is a little bit more than a half a mile. Now, capacity. There are two measurements for capacity that we focus on today, milliliter and liter. Notice it is with a capital L. A milliliter is about 5 drops of water. A liter is about a little more than a quart of milk. Some of you might compare it to like a 2-liter bottle of pop. And so half of that would be 1 liter. Mass. Mass, we focus mostly on these 3, milligrams, grams, and kilograms. A milligram is about the mass of a speck of sawdust. A gram is about the mass of a paper clip. And a kilogram is about the mass of 1/2 of the weight of your textbook. You could think about your math textbook or your social studies textbook. They both weigh about the same amount. So half of the weight of one of those textbooks. So let's choose an appropriate metric unit and explain our choice. To explain our choice, we're going to revert back to this chart and our reference example to use it as our explanation. So in this one, the height of a classroom chalkboard. Because the height of a chalkboard is about two distances from the floor to the doorknob, I'm going to say a meter is the best because it is about 2 distances from the floor to the doorknob. The mass of a backpack filled with books, I would say, would best be measured with kilograms because it is many times the mass of this textbook. The capacity of a bird bath, the amount of water that a bird bath holds, can best be measured in liters because it is several quarts that are needed to fill the bird bath full of water. Now, if you need more time to write down the notes, please pause the video. Then give these 4 a try. Choose an appropriate metric unit and explain your choice. Then come on back to compare what you got to what I got. Don't just watch for the big reveal of my answers, or you're not going to be doing any of the thinking. You're just going to be writing down the answers. And that's not how we best learn. So for the first one, the length of a broom, I selected meter because it's about twice the length of the length from the door knob to the floor. So I chose meter. B, the mass of an energy bar. I selected gram because it is several times the mass of a paperclip. C, the mass of a horse. I would not measure the mass of a horse in paper clips because it is so large. So I would have chosen a kilogram because the horse is several times the mass of a textbook. And lastly, the capacity of a car's gas tank. I would have selected a liter because a gas tank takes several quarts to fill. Now I'm going to give you 2 options, and your job is to choose a reasonable estimate and explain your choice. When thinking about the capacity of a juice box, would you guess that you should use 200 milliliters or 200 liters, knowing that a milliliter is about 5 drops of water and a liter is about 1 liter is about a quart? That being the case, it wouldn't make sense for a juice box to have 200 quarts of juice in it for one person or a single serving. So 200 milliliters would be a better descriptor. Juice boxes hold less than a quart. B, the length of a new pencil, 15 centimeters or 15 meters, knowing that 1 meter is the distance from the floor to the doorknob, and a centimeter is about the width of your thumbnail. I chose 15 centimeters because a pencil is about 15 widths of your thumbnail. Letter C, which best describes the mass of a small tube of toothpaste? 100 grams, remember a gram is a paper clip, or 100 kilograms, which is about the half of the weight of a textbook. I said 100 grams because the mass is the same as a box of paper clips. Now you try. Pause the video and see if you can do these two independently in the same manner that we just did those together. Letter A, the distance between two cities. I thought 50 kilometers because a kilometer is a little more than half a mile. A millimeter is pretty small. It's only the width of a dime. So you wouldn't want to measure the distance between two cities using such a small measurement. B, the amount of liquid that an eyedropper holds. I selected 10 milliliters because 1 milliliter is about 5 drops of water. Now we're going to talk about converting metric units. So given 1 metric unit, can you give an equivalent amount in a different unit? Remember learning this in science class this year? Hopefully so. And here is where multiplying by multiples of 10 comes in handy. The cool thing about the metric system is that each unit is 10 times bigger than there are 10 times more in each unit as you go to a smaller unit. So to convert to a smaller unit, you simply multiply by 10. Or if you are converting to a larger unit, you divide repeatedly by 10. Now we just talked about or reviewed that multiplying or dividing by 10 simply moves the decimal point to the right or to the left. That's where this comes in. To convert to a smaller unit, move your decimal point to the right, that number of places, or multiply by that number of tens. To convert to a larger unit of measure, you simply have to move the decimal point to the left that many places, or divide repeatedly by 10. In science class, they taught you this mnemonic device. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. That allows you to make this chart. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. On your paper, all on your own. It's important to remember that this U stands for unit. Your basic units are grams, meters, and liters. This chart can be used for any metric system. Not just grams, not just meters, not just liters. So let's try one. In my example problem, 5 2/10 kilograms is how many grams? Well, I'm going to mark where we are starting. We're starting at kilograms. That's right here. I'm converting to a smaller unit, which is grams. That's over here. So I am going to 1, 2, 3. I'm going to divide by 10, divide by 10, and then divide by 10 again. Or I can simply move the decimal to the right. Wait a minute. I didn't mean divide by 10. I meant multiply by 10, multiply by 10, multiply by 10, or the fast way is to move your decimal point 3 places. See how I have 3 humps? 3 places to the right. So let's try it. 1, 2, 3 places to the right. And then place my comma where appropriate. 5,200 grams. Let's try some more together. Complete each statement. 4 3/500 liters is how many milliliters? Now, you can use this chart, remembering that liters is a basic unit, or you maybe want to go back to the King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk and write this on your paper. I'm starting here at liters. Here's where liters is here, or here is liters here. And I'm working my way to milliliters. Milli is over here, or it's the M value here. So with either one of these, I'm moving from liters 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So I rewrite this number 1, 2, 3 places to the right. And my answer is 4,350 milliliters. In my next problem, 914 centimeters, converting that into meters. Let's erase this. This time, I'm starting at centimeters. Centimeters is right here. Or on this chart, centimeters is right here. And I'm moving to meters, which is my basic unit, here. Centimeters to meters, 1, 2 places to the left. Now, if there isn't a decimal showing, the decimal is at the end of the number. 1, 2 places to the left, my answer is 9 14/100 meters. And that's my answer. All right, it's time for you to do some independent practice. I have written up there, King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk for you. And so I would like you to pause the video and convert all of these 3 problems. Come on back to see how well you did on your own. All right, for this one, I got 35 thousandths liters. For B, I got 250,000 grams. And for C, I got 6,000 centimeters. All right, my next problem. Let's cut that out of there. The ancient Incan city of Pachu Picchu is located in Peru. Its altitude is about 2,300 meters above sea level. What is Machu Picchu's altitude in kilometers? So I'm being asked to convert 2,300 meters to kilometers. My decimal is located at the end of 2,300 meters. I'm starting here at the unit. And I'm going to the left 1, 2, 3 places. So 1, 2, 3 places to the left. My solution is 2 3/10 kilometers. So that is exactly 2 3/10 kilometers above sea level. All right, we have a test tomorrow. So what might this look like on your test? Well, on your test, I put these problems in your study guide. And these are similar questions, in your notes packet. These are similar questions. Let's go through those last 4 questions in your study guide, in your notes packet, and then come on back to compare your answers to mine to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow's quiz. All right, for the first one, choose an appropriate metric unit for mass of a calculator. I chose grams because kilograms would be like a half of a weight of a textbook, and that's much larger than a calculator. And so the next one down would be grams. So I would use grams. Complete this sentence where you convert 757 thousandths liters to kilometers. I would move the decimal point from liters to, this is showing the next problem. That's why I'm confused. So from liters to kilometers, which would be 3 places to the left, as shown here. And so my answer is 0.000757 kilometers. Then the next problem, convert 8 21/100 centimeters to meters. That would be moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. And I get 821 10,000ths of a meter. The last one, the height of a mountain is 9,007 meters. What is the height in centimeters? Again, you're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right, and you get 900,700 centimeters. All right, your assignment is to work on page 153, 7 through 26, and practice some more for your test tomorrow on all of chapter 3. Make sure you're asking